Aloha. Today I just wanted to talk about something that I was thinking about walk earlier, breaking it down to like the three biggest things from my perspective of distraction. And I just kind of put this up uh, just to explain kind of like the ideas that I see circling around everywhere and they get perpetrated through the mainstream media and get repeated in our subconscious and our conscious everyday reality experience, and kind of like what are the main things that keep us in a certain state of mind. Because I was listening earlier today, I heard a grandmother talking to her grandchild, talking about, yeah, I'm gonna take you to Toys R Us later on, and I'm gonna get you all these toys, and I'm gonna do this because you've been such good. You and your sister have been get such good kids, and I'm gonna get you this stuff. And I was like thinking, like, man, we pretty much like buy our children. Like that's the main what gets perpetrated through, like with Christmas and even how we go to work and get paid. Like you go to work, and then like most people like can't stand their jobs and they're just like trying to make ends meet, and the whole system itself is rotten. But yeah, we got to do what we got to do. What are you going to do? That whole mentality is the main mentality, down to the way we raise our children. We have like corporatized families. So I was looking at like the birth certificate stuff and how that number on our birth certificate makes us like part of the corporation of the United States as a slave labor, a debtor in debt to the United States corporation, and how we are assets to a bankrupt company, and we're just like part-time employees to a bankrupt company, thinking we're in debt and we're bankrupt because of all of these distractions that tell us that we are lacking of abundance. We've lost our connections to our center beingness, and exchanged it for the distraction mentalities out there of the physicality world, and forgetting about our beyond the physicality connections, the money matrix, which controls even how we eat, sleep, drink, and live in this realm. We can't even dream anymore because we're stuck in the physicality mentality. And reproduction, the worshiping, like I was thinking like why people are so even me at one time was just like so focused on like having kids and having a family. Like the American dream, at the center of that is like reproducing, having it, like having children, having a house, being successful, and that whole state of mind. And what that really does when you're just creating more and more certificates, more and more money, more liens for the corporation to maximize their value, and then that system just keeps going on and on and on the outside of this, never allowing you to get beyond these three ideas to even get into this, to touch this space. So like when we go out and graduate from high school, our main thing is to just get a job and get involved in the system and be successful, and then so you can reproduce and have babies to carry on your name and your storyline, whatever it is that these ideas of who you are can live on in this artificial idea of existence, focused only on the physicality and what this whole body is. And if we get trapped in these, it's easy to get trapped in money and lack, because if you don't have money, then you can't eat or drink or even have a shelter, you damn sure ain't gonna be able to have kids if you can't take care of yourself. And if you can't do if you can't do that, then you're gonna risk losing your physical body, your vessel. Like, so there's a fear inherent in this whole distractive mentality that keeps us outside, and all of these on the outside, on the exterior, are the main things that get perpetrated through stuff like or repeated through like the mainstream media, social media, the news, everything, the politics, everything that's around us, on the outside of the outside of the outside of who we really are. So it's like all these external layers of our true essence, and connection to all that is, as above so below, as all that is. And all these other things are invented, and a lot of these things, the majority of all these, are invented to keep us in a lacking state, a fear state, a programmed state of dependency and codependency and victimization, constantly having to blame the external world for being the way it is, never really tapping into what we could do about it, and just being pissed off about it and hating it, and just having to deal with, what's coming down the system, what's coming out through all these this constant state of war that is in not only on the external, but it's inside of our own minds. The television and Hollywood and the way this whole structure is designed is a state of war in our own mentalities. And just like as within, so without, if we have all of these distractions and this war with our bodies, with fluoridated water, vaccines, chemtrails, the air we breathe, the food we eat, the educational information, the politics that goes into our mind, that food, that's a state of war. And when that gets repeated, Trump is a state of war on the mind. Even Bernie Sanders coming out and saying all the stuff that he's saying, these are all part of the white supremacy agenda. Bernie Sanders is out there to make this whole agenda look good, like look like it's okay, like it has a heart. But that heart has been it's been like atrophied for generations and generations. You can see in our own families, people are in a total state of helplessness and hopelessness, because we're completely bought into the system and can't really get out of it because of the way we fight ourselves, and the way Hollywood is designed, directly connected to the white supremacy agenda, the way TED Talks is directly connected to transhumanism, the way religion is directly connected to marriage, and how we are in a constant state of sexualization of the divine feminine, and sexism, and completely beaten down on women, so focused on racism, we forget about the foundation of racism is sexism. And when you go into that, this whole structure gets destroyed, because you start to unravel the divinity within the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and how that exists as a natural state of power and essence outside of all this new age ideas, and the homosexual agenda, and how that's being perpetrated, in the feminization of the African American male, and the total for like the whole. I even saw there was a commercial out there for a new Roots coming out, coming out very soon on the History Channel. So like stuff like the History Channel being out there telling you, what your history is and what things are in your world, and where you came from, and what what you are made of, what you are all about, what your future is, what your past is. They set you up for a limitation, set you up for a failure. Just like the vaccines are out there full of mercury and all these diseases that are coming about. The cancer, like people understanding that cancer, there's a cure for cancer, and that they're just not releasing it. The whole they idea, and the whole idea of cannabis being legal in some states and illegal in other states, and the fact that cannabis as being a natural plant and the benefits that it can do. Like, who are the individuals? What's the agenda behind why people are dying? Because they don't have, people are in pain every day because they don't have access to cannabis, when they well know that, on the next state over, they could have, no pain. They could have, people fighting cancer and overcoming all of these diseases that are perpetrated um, through the system itself. So the fact that we are in this out of balance, out of harmonics state of being, existing all out here, our focus is all out here. And social media is the new mainstream. Social media is the new news. It's the pop. The pop culture itself separates us from our essence, our art, our cultural connections to art, the harmonics, the beats, the drums, the horns, the whole vibrations that come from when you tap into your art, that is straight into your culture, which goes straight into your blood and the harmonics of who you are. When you tap into that, then you can start healing yourself in different ways and start not being susceptible to all of the diseases that come from all of this other stuff. So the fact that pop in the mainstream exists is a disease. So this whole state of being out here is to keep you in dis-ease. NASA and the university system, the colleges out here, they create your universe. They create the way your planet looks, the way everything feels, and where you think you are. It's just about separation. The new age is out there to keep you disconnected from the old age, the ancient, the indigenous connections that existed before this whole scientific idea of who we are and what we are existed. The transhumanism agenda that's out here right now is to jump off of all of this external stuff out here. The fact that you got a smartphone on you every day and you have an addiction to these things, kids are coming out having addictions at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, up until it's the foundations for addiction to the electronics is being set as early as that age, and it's going to lead into the ideas of taking technology into your body to make that busy mentality, that busy vibration more part of your system. So the fact, like coffee, and coffee keeps you in a busy state of mind. It's about speed. It keeps you so distracted. The distractionism mentality is to keep you so speedy and not really slow enough to slow down in your own harmonics to pay attention to the center of things, to your own soul, your soul group, your soul family, to focus on your body and your mind. So the even the body idea is all focused about reproduction, looking at only women's asses, and trying to work out, and the whole Roman the Roman idea of building up your bodies, and instead of going into dance, like the women going into dance and building up their bodies that way. Like women and men are not exactly the same when it comes to our body types, and how and the differences. There's a harmonics in the differences between the male and the female, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And when you put the female in the same category as the male in relation to the body, the male system of the gym and going to the gym every day and calisthenics and that whole thing, it's all based on the Roman idea, the Colosseum idea of building up your body, and you see all this muscle workout and all this other stuff. That's not natural for the feminine. The mind being focused on the celebrity worship of the mainstream pop and the social media bombardment of information. It's not natural for the mind, a child mind, an inner child mind, or even an adult mind. TED Talks coming out here and saying, you know, oh, these are your smartest people, all this. So that stuff is compromised. It's set up. Go into the depths of TED Talks, and you can see they have to sell all this stuff, has to sell in some of the good stuff in order to sell the deepest of the deep control programs later on. So all this stuff like TED Talks, yeah, they're going to talk about 90% good stuff, but the 10% that exists in this kind of control and in this kind of agendas is enough, is all they want to sell in their next whatever agenda through their politics. Because once we get out of this state of the center state of being, we're susceptible to like whatever else the people we place in power, give our power to, say is for our benefit, so they can do whatever it is that they want to do with the power that we give them, because we exist out here. We don't take the time to get back into the center of our own harmonics, because we're so distracted. The educational indoctrination that comes from when you're in kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, that fear mentality that steps in right there, the fact that all your teachers are white, the information that comes through there is focused on just white culture, the idea of whatever white culture is, and not looking at indigenous culture. They're trying to take slavery out of the books. They're trying to rewrite history, basically, trying to destroy what what existed in the past. Because if people start to figure out what's been going on, then we'll start to unravel, you know, what's happening to us today, because it's just history repeating itself, because we get distracted, whether it's by fear, when religious people used to get burned and burned at the stake, and all kinds of stuff used to happen in religion. That religion is still connected directly to the endless war that's going on right now and the New World Order. That's why the Pope is out there going to the White House and talking all this mess at the White House. And all the things that exist in our own house, we get it can get overwhelming if we look at all this at once. But we have to take things one at a time. And like for me individually, I stopped. Like I really put my foot down when I stopped like the H1N1 virus when I was in the military. I told them they will never stick me with that. And I almost got like demoted and kicked out of the army because of that. I was the last one. I never got that vaccine. But I knew there was everything in my intuition was telling me there's something wrong with that. And started to look at the sky and see what was going on in there, and started to change my eating habits with not eating fast food, then not eating beef, then not eating chicken, then not eating meat at all eventually. And then getting to my own, like, what was my lightest and most harmonic state of being, my comfortable space. Starting to really look at the politics and really look at what the mainstream media was doing with all these repetitive ideas that get pumped through the media, seeing why the focus is so much on the gym and like only your body, and distraction of your mind, never talking to your soul. What is the soul? Where is the spirit? What is the spirit? What is money, and why is the same, you know, the numbers that are on a birth certificate on a money? That whole system. I pretty much hit on everything that's it that I really wanted to talk about. And yeah, maritime admiralty laws are at the heart of the whole power grid, the judge system, and the same black robe that they wear in the university system is the same black robe that judges wear. And it's all about control. It's all about creating your universe city, and how you see it, how you exist. And once we get in touch with our center beingness, find it individually on our own, and we won't be susceptible to all the distraction and the distractionary world. And once we do it individually, it'll maximize the collective change naturally. So I'll leave it there. Pretty much spoke on everything around here. Yeah, if we stop being distracted by all of these external ideas of who we are, then we'll be able to get back in flow the way the golden ages used to be, and not in the gray area agendas. So thank you for joining me. Until next time, peace, love, harmony.